Hey there, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Fit Nutrition Podcast. My name is Tania. I'm your nutritionist and fitness coach. Hello, all you fit lifers out there, our 8 weeks family. So happy to have everyone here. Thanks for joining in, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay. Just drop it down below so I can see where everybody's coming in from. Today is a topic that prompted me. I was prompted to talk about this today because of a conversation I had at the gym the other day, as are a lot of my topics. Actually, it's amazing what you can talk about at the gym with the people. It's love. I love it. So I have this friend, and our kids kind of grew up together, went to the same schools and everything like that. And we hadn't seen each other for quite a long time. We reconnected at this gym over this past year. And she has been on an incredible health journey. She has had a lot of setbacks, a lot of serious illness that she's had to work through. And she's doing fantastic. She's doing amazing. And so that is one super positive. And she's just been crushing it, She's lost a lot of weight. She's reduced medication. She's got herself back on track. She's, lifting weight. She's becoming strong. And at one point she was literally not able to get out of bed, so she has come leaps and bounds and big strides. And so then yesterday we were talking and she says, I just feel like I'm in the middle. And, she was on the treadmill, and I kind of came in. She was already on the treadmill. She was running and she was looking like she was working really hard. And I said, "Hey, you look like you're doing great. You're just crushing it." She goes, I feel like I'm in the middle and I just had to do something. And she's like, that middle place where you just, it feels like, and she's trying to think of the words. And I said, "Does it kind of feel like you're not sure if it's worth it, like if it's worth the effort, that you're kind of halfway in between and you're looking back and you're going, well, how far have I really come? What am I doing?" She's like, "Yeah, it's like that." And I said, "You know what? Because when you stand back and you take a look, you can see all the things for people that they can't see for themselves. And sometimes people need a reminder. So if this is you today, then here is your little reminder. If you are feeling like that you're in the middle. So, you started your health journey, and you're coming along and you're just like, what am I doing all this for? I'm not where I want to be yet. It's taking so long. I'm just like, I'm kind of stuck. I'm feeling flat. That's another way people express it. Feeling flat or stuck or just in the middle, like she said. And in the middle is actually the best place. Okay, so think about this. You're like, "What, Tania? You feel it's so controversial. What do you mean it's the best place?" It's the best place because in the middle, it's that place where you get to look back at how far you've come. If you really take a look and say, "Okay, this is where I started on day one, and here's where I am now." And you take a look at all that you've accomplished between then and now. It's a huge load of stuff that you've gone through, that you've, clawed your way through, that you've pushed through and gone around and jumped over and made it work and responded to things that you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening." And you've just kept going. And so now you're here in this middle spot thinking, but all of that you've gone through to here, and now you're halfway there and you're just on that precipice. It's like pushing that boulder up the hill, and you're maybe like this far from the top. And if you don't have someone point out to you that you're only that far from the top, it can seem insurmountable, and it can seem like you're never going to get to the top. You just keep pushing, but will you ever start to go down the other side and gain momentum and start getting faster? And you can see that goal at the finish line, because you can't see the goal when you're on the backside of the mountain, right? You can't see the finish line, and there's really no finish to our health. But I'm talking about the finish line for the particular goal that you're striving for at this moment. There's no finish line for our health. But when you're on the backside of the mountain and you're coming up, you can't see the finish line on the other side, because you're still going up and up and up. It's like when you're driving up a really steep hill, right? And you're thinking, "Ooh, I hope there's no one crossing the street at the top when I crest this hill. I don't want to hit anybody." You kind of slow down, you kind of look around. And that's what it's like as we're striving to reach our goals, we're pushing and pushing and pushing. And then we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where I am. And I start to slow down because I don't know what's coming next. I don't know how far I am. And you're literally this far away. You're so close that if you just keep going for another day, another workout, another, PFC 3 meal, another something like that, whatever it happens to be, wherever your goals are, you're going to get to that precipice where the boulder starts to rock. And then now you can start to come down the other side, and you're picking up speed, because everything that you did to get from where you started to where you are now in that middle, right before you come over the other side, it took a lot more effort than it will ever take to get from where you are now to that goal, because you did most of the hard stuff already. And that doesn't mean to say that we can throw all caution to the wind and just kind of sit on our laurels and just coast, because that was like the tortoise and the hare, right? He kind of just figured it, because he was faster, he was going to win, and he didn't. He got a little cocky. So we don't ever want to do that. We want to keep being that steady Eddie, that little hare, and keep going. But just know that it gets a little bit easier as you start to come down the other side, because of all of the things and all the experiences you've gone through leading up to that. So you've learned things, you found what works, and you found what didn't work, right? Because there's been some trial and error with things. You found maybe that you really love doing something for an exercise and you really don't like doing something else. And maybe you found a favorite recipe. Maybe you found a system that works for your prep and for your fit kit that you take out and about with you. Maybe, there's all of these things. Maybe you went on a vacation and you were like a little bit apprehensive at first, but you stuck it out and you thought about it and you made a plan, and it happened, and you had the vacation and you enjoyed yourself and you came home healthy and you didn't gain any weight and you felt really good. Or if you did gain, it was a little bit of bloat and you just did your fit in 4 and flushed it out and you're back going again. So, you've done all of those things leading up to this moment. And it's natural sometimes to feel that, oh my gosh, when will it end? Like, when am I going to see some of that speed coming down the other side, right? We just want to, people are impatient. I'm impatient. Humans are impatient. Inherently, we are impatient. Just take a look at the society we live in right now. People call it a microwave society because, they want it done super fast all the time, that we can just push a button and have it done, right? I mean, there's a lot of things in life right now that we can push buttons and have things done. Microwave isn't the only one, right? You can order food on your phone. You can order your movie tickets on your phone. You can order a coffee pickup on your phone. Like, you can literally just push buttons and get things. Amazon comes to your house like in a day, right? So we live in that society where we want things to show up right now. And if it showed up yesterday, that's even better, but we just have to remember that our bodies don't work that way. We're inherently lazy and we want stuff to happen fast. So if you put those combinations together, it's not a winning combination. Because if we're inherently lazy and we sometimes want to try and find the easiest way out, or step back or take a break, but we want it done faster, those two things kind of don't go together, right? And I'm just saying this because I'm not saying that any of you are being lazy, or any of you are thinking about throwing in the towel and and walking off or something like that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm just saying is that if you know these characteristics and traits that we as humans just have, then when those instances come up where you feel like, yeah, I just don't feel like I want to do that, or oh my gosh, I'm so up, I'm so stressed because it's taking so long. If you just take a step back and realize, oh, all right, on that podcast I watched with Tania, she was talking about how this is normal human behavior, normal expectations. So the expectations that I or you are putting on myself or yourself may be unrealistic expectations. And your expectations have to match your output, what you're willing to put in, the energy you're willing to expend, and the time and the effort and all of that with whatever you do, that needs to match your expectations, or you're going to be very disappointed. Because if you're putting in, down here at this level and you're expecting results at this level, there's a little bit of a disconnect here. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we either have to raise what we're going to do to match up here, or lower our expectations to match down here, right? And then we will start to see progress. And it will be consistent because we are in alignment. What we're willing to do, our actions are in alignment with our expectations. And when those things happen, we are less stressed. We are more able to see the results that we're getting. And we're looking for them. So we are seeing them. If you don't look for them, you're not going to see them either, right? If you're just sort of caught up in that frustration of this isn't, this is taking too long, then that's what you're going to be focused and fixated on. And that's the only thing that you're going to be hearing and seeing. That's what you're going to be believing. So you're going to have these little beliefs, untrue beliefs, that it's not working, or it's not working fast enough, or you're never going to get there, or whatever it is. And that is also those little peanut gallery guys on the shoulders coming at you. My mom used to say, we chime in or try and be maybe a little cheeky, or maybe try and say what we wanted in as opposed to what they were doing. And the comment was, we don't need any help from the peanut gallery. We don't need your opinion. We don't need the opinion of the peanut gallery. There's a lot of negative things that come on us every day anyway. We do not need to contribute to that. So today, if you're finding yourself feeling a little stuck, feeling a little flat, feeling just, I'm in this middle spot, this limbo place, think of it this way. You are in the best place. You are right where you need to be right now. If you step back and take a look at how far you've come, what have you accomplished? And I actually encourage you to write it down. Even if you just write it on a scrap piece of paper, take some notes on your phone, however you want to do it at this moment. But start thinking, where was I? Think about, when you started your journey, where were you? Write down how you felt, what you were, how you were feeling in your body, why you wanted to start. What did you look like? What did did you look tired and sad and depressed, or were you like anxious, or like, what were you like on day one? And now, what are you like today? If you're feeling in the middle, like what is your middle number? I don't know how many days is a middle for you. We'll all feel that at some point. So how many, what are you feeling now, and looking back, and how did you get there? What all are the things that you had to go through to get where you are today? Write all those down. And then take a look at that and say, hey, dang, I'm doing pretty good. That right there is going to boost you up when you start looking at all of the things that you've accomplished, how far you've come, what you've overcome, maybe. Maybe you've had some limiting beliefs that you couldn't even get started, and now you started. Maybe you've had some, whatever it happens to be, and that's really powerful, because that is going to pick you up and carry you up to push a little bit harder, just so you can get that boulder coming down the other side. And that is one of the reasons why with my clients, I have them do a 28-day transformational journal. It's really very powerful. But within that, I get them to write down gratitude every day. What are you grateful for? Because a lot of times, and I really want you to, so I would love everybody watching this podcast to start doing that. Write down a gratitude, something that you're grateful for every day. I call it a blessing tracker. I have one on my phone so that, and this is one of the reasons. I'm going to find it here. I'm going to show you. It's right there at the top because I use it a lot. And so why is it important to have all these things written down? Because there's going to be those times when life happens, something hits you, something is like upsetting or disruptive to your day, and it's going to make you feel not so great in some way, shape, or form. And when that happens, a lot of times that peanut gallery gets really loud and it starts saying, well, see, I told you it wouldn't work. Or, yeah, well, there's no use doing that again because you know what? it's not for you. You can't do this. You're whatever. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. You're not whatever. Fill in the blank, right? Everybody has their peanut gallery reel that plays in their head. But when that happens and you think that, oh my gosh, nothing is going right, and those voices are right, that I shouldn't be doing this, or it's never going to work, or whatever the voices are saying to you, the peanut gallery, you bring out your blessing tracker and you start going through and you see all the things that you wrote down over the days, the weeks, the months, the years. Now I've been doing this for years, of all the good things that have happened. I went back to like September of last year here. And so that's very powerful, because now you can start to just randomly pick some of them and read them, and you will see all of the good that's been happening, all the stuff that you've gone through, because there'll be some good things that have happened as a result of some negative stuff maybe too, right? And you get to see all of those. And it's just very uplifting. It's very encouraging and supporting. And sometimes, we have to have our own little means of encouragement. There might not always be somebody around to pick us up, dust us off, help us get going again. And it is good when you can partner up with people, have an accountability partner, get into a community group. Absolutely. We have this group. This is fabulous. Please use this group. If you need that little picking up, I'm always here. Everyone in the group will, if you're asking for help with something, we're here. That's what we do. You're a part of the Fit family if you're in this group. But sometimes we need that little, we're by ourselves and we just need something to bring us out of the funk, to lift us up and make us smile instead of feeling so flat, and just feel like, okay, the middle's not so bad, because that means I'm halfway there, or I'm more than halfway there now, because I'm going to take that one more step and keep pushing. So I just encourage you today, wherever you are, to keep going. Take that one more step, keep pushing. Your boulder's right there at the top. You only got this much to go. It's not far. And then you're going to start coming down the other side and picking up speed with all of these things that you've been working at for your health and for your life and for your family and for your fitness and all of that kind of stuff. It's happening. Just keep looking back and seeing how far only look back to see how far you've come, and then turn your eyes on where you want to go. All right. So that's my word for you today. Thank you for coming here and spending time with me and watching Fit Nutrition Podcast. I'd love to hear your comments on this. Let me know where you are at right now and what you like to do, what you got from this. Maybe something here helped you, or maybe you have a suggestion for others about how to get out of that middle flat spot and keep moving forward. So thanks for joining here. Tania Gustafson, your nutritionist and fitness coach. Come back again next week for another episode as we chat on Fit Nutrition Podcast.